Hello all. I wanted to stop by to share a channeled message that came through for one of my clients that I was doing a remote healing session for earlier today. And this message that came through, I was guided to share with the collective. So I will share this beautiful message and then the 2 oracle messages that I was guided to also pull as additional information to go along with this channeled message. But first, I want to take a moment to speak to you about some of the major changes that you may be going through at this time. And many of us may be feeling confused, exhausted, may feel old stuff coming up to the surface that we thought that we have healed. But it's important to know along our healing journey and every experience that we go through, there are always more than one layer to be healed. So even though we feel we healed a certain part of an experience, whenever something comes up that's connected to that time of that experience, that means there's another layer that is coming up. What I'm finding as of late and within the last 3 weeks, more importantly, is that there has been a lot of mother wounds coming up. Father wounds were a little before that, but now it's a lot of mother wounds. So whether you are a mother and you are questioning yourself as a mother, or there is wounding coming up from your mother, their mother, and the mothers before, it's coming up because we're at a time where we're really beginning to end karmic cycles and experiences that are no longer meant to be part of this new that we are beginning to step into. So it may feel like all of a sudden these things begin to come up that we thought we had forgotten about, and we are beginning to find ourselves questioning what we are experiencing in this moment in time and wondering what is going on. I thought this was all done with, but it's not. Again, it is just another layer. And I feel that it probably is the deepest level. The deepest level meaning that not only are you clearing any unhealed trauma from this time in your life, in this lifetime, we are also beginning to clear unhealed trauma from all before us, meaning generations and ancestors before who have had unhealed trauma that has been carried down to us in this time. And because of where we are collectively at this time and space, we are beginning a major awakening, a time that's never been before. So in order for us to step into this brand new awakening, a time that has never been, a version of ourselves that has never been before, we will be presented and challenged with all of these things that do not align with this new version, with this new timeline that we are all about to step in or have stepped in. Some of us may have already stepped into this new timeline, but then we find ourselves going back to an old timeline. So when I say that, it's just versions, right? Versions of ourselves. The new version that has never been, in which we are touching at this time, is a feeling of excitement and just knowing that everything is going to be okay and ready to move on to the new. And then the human part of us comes in, and we step back into the old version of our fears and doubts and insecurities from those old versions. And then we begin to question if we're losing our minds, because we just dipped our toe into this beautiful timeline that feels so amazing, and we're so ready to, energetically ready to move into, but yet then the human part of us takes us back to the older versions. And it's okay. It's all part of this transition that many of us are going through at this time. So it's important for you to be gentle with yourself and take the time to just be. Be still, be with yourself. Allow all of this stuff to come up. If that means we have to isolate for a bit, then it's important for you to do so. If we need to separate from people, places, and things that may be presenting some type of a challenge or have been presenting challenges in our life, it's important for us to take the time to separate so that we can begin to understand and process whatever it is that is coming up for us. What we are experiencing are a lot of endings, whether in relationships, jobs, coping mechanisms, addictions, and things that we have been so programmed to do, that we have been programmed for so long. And again, not just from this life, but from many other lifetimes and ancestors and generations before. It's important to understand it is all happening because we are beginning to clear the old. We're beginning to start a brand new part of our lives that may feel very scary, but exciting at the same time. We're ending old contracts, and that's why it feels so weird. Things that we've been holding on to for so long being released so that we can create from a new space. It's important for us to allow that to happen, but just as important for you to allow what needs to come up, whether it brings about bouts of crying or sadness or anxiety or anything or emotion that comes up. Allow it to come up. Don't resist it, because when we resist it, it just becomes more challenging for us. So again, we are in a major transition right now. We're moving into a version that has never been. So we need to take the time to process these changes and to allow ourselves to go through whatever we need to go through, allowing it to flow through us and allowing ourselves to sit still with it so that we can begin the purging and releasing of the old. Now, this is a period of time right now that it may feel like it's coming up very quickly for a lot of people. Others may not even be feeling this, but we all are at some level experiencing this change. And I know I've talked about this in other videos. Everything around us is changing. Everything around us is being exposed. Everything within ourselves that we have suppressed and repressed for so long is being exposed. So of course, these emotions that are coming up need to come up. Things may be coming through from your past that you had forgotten about, something in your childhood, family dynamics, mothers, fathers, and all that we may have experienced with them. Family dynamics are coming up to be looked at once again, to release what needs to be released, healed, so that we no longer need to carry this with us into the generations to come. Everything is changing, and it's okay. It is meant to change. So take this time to allow it to do what it needs to do, and rest, process, journal, go for walks in nature, anything that will help to ground you so that you can be aligned enough to allow what needs to come up to come up. So, to the message that came through, the channeled message that came through that I was guided to share with you, I'm going to read to you, and hopefully it will resonate with you in some way and help you put things more into perspective so that you won't let these changes keep you stuck, but more or less allow it to come up to process so that you can start releasing. I really do feel like a big karmic cycle is ending, and that goes for contracts that we may have signed with people, places, and situations in our life that is coming up now to be reviewed, because I feel like new contracts are being rewritten now. And that is why everything feels so strange to us, because I feel we are being given the opportunity now to create or write our own contract, write our own script, whatever you want to call it, to create our life the way that we want it to be, or the way it is meant to be, the way it is aligned to be, the way our lives are to be continued in this new space, in this new frequency and vibration. It's time for that change to take place. So allow yourself to sit with all of the past and all that may be coming up for you. We might be even having vivid dreams of experiences that we've gone through, or people from our past that is coming up really strong. You might even be getting dreams or having dreams that are connected to past lives, right? That are coming up for us again, to be released, to be clear, to be let go, to be healed more than anything. So